Hello and welcome to this crochet tutorial where I will show you how to make this crocheted bralette or bikini top. It comes where it ties at the neckline and in the back with a corset fit. It will help support by the way the design is in the crochet for your breasts so that it doesn't sag in here. The whole thing is made of single crochet and chain stitch. At the end I'll show you how to make the tassels. So come join me in the making of this crocheted bralette. The materials and the tools that I'm using in this, I will be with Peaches and Cream. I bought this at Walmart on clearance, and the color is red. Pair of scissors. My crochet hook is a 3.75, and we have a large eye tapestry needle that'll work with this cotton yarn. Now the nice thing about this cone yarn, you see it has a nice little cone shape here. It's easy to pull the yarn off. You can spin it like this, or you can take it off the top. Either way, before we begin, pull a little bit off so that when we make our chain stitches, we don't have to worry that we're dragging the cone with us. So let's get started. We're going to begin by placing a slip knot on our hook. So let's start with a tail that's approximately 6 to 8 inches long. Let's wrap it around our finger, pull the loop up, and take our working yarn and pull it through our loop. Insert our hook, and we're going to start off with a chain of with a chain of 28. So yarn over, pull the hook through the loop on your hook, yarn over, pull it through. Let's continue on until we've done this 28 times. Please pause your video. After chaining 28, we're going to skip the completed first chain, and in the second chain, 1 single crochet. Single crochet 1 per stitch till we have a total of 14 single crochets. So here I have 3. Continue on till you have 14, which will be about center on our chain. Our next stitch will get 2 single crochets per stitch. I encourage you to pick up 2 parts of our chain. Let me show you here. You have 1, 2, and 3. So if we pick up 2 parts, it will not cause our loop to stretch. So under 2 parts of those chain, we have 1 and 2. Continue down with the 12 chains that are left, and I'll meet you here at the end of the row. At the completion of our first row, you'll see that it wants to look like it has a little ridge here. That's what we're looking for. Now you'll notice my finger is here on the end. It wants to curl up. If yours is doing that, that's fine. We'll be placing more stitches on it so that it will lay flat. Now this tail that we have here will help you to understand that this will be into the center of the bra cup here. This extra amount here on the side will help us when we create the band that goes around the back. So here's our center front. This will be going around. Let's move on to row 2. So let's chain 1 and turn our work. In our first one right here, we're going to do a single crochet. Here's 1. Do 11 more single crochets. We will be 1 shy short of the double, and when we get to that double, we're going to place 2 in there. So go ahead and do your 11, and I'll meet you right here. We will have a total of 12 to begin with because we've already done 1. So after those 12, our next one is our double from our previous row. Let's place 2 single crochets in that one. Continuing on down this side of the row, we're going to do 13 single crochets. So continue on with your 13, and I'll meet you down here towards the end. You will have 2 stitches left over. So as you can see, at the end of the row we have 2 stitches left over. Let's chain 1 and turn. If you're wondering why, part of giving the custom fit to the underside of our breast, we want to have like a cupping. This will help with the cupping that we're looking for. It'll all make sense after we start on a couple of other rows. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, and in our first single crochet in our first stitch, and we're going to do 13 single crochets up to the double from the previous row. Two single crochets into that next stitch, and as we continue down on this side here, we're going to be placing 11 single crochets. You're going to see a stepping pattern here for a couple of rows. Let's chain 1, turn our work. We're going to do 11 single crochets. In the double, we'll place 2. On the other side, 12. That means you'll stop 2 stitches short the end of the row. So 11, 2, and 12. And this is what we have so far after 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Okay, let's move on to row 5. Chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch, stopping short 2. So we're going to do 23 single crochets on this row. So after completing the 23 single crochets here, we're going to chain 1 and then turn our work. The next row will be 21, chain 1, turn, 19, and 17. I will place the information up here so that way you can continue on, and then I'll show you what to do next. Now that didn't take long, did it? All right, So let's chain 1, turn our work, and this row we're going to be doing 17 across, and then we're going to be going down our steps. This will help it to start to curve and conform to the underside of the breast, kind of like a cupping effect. So let's go ahead and do our 17, and I'll show you how to come down right here. Now I call these steps because they come down, go across, and down. Okay, so we have 3 sets of steps here. So what you want to do, place your finger on your loop, kind of push it down onto the loop so it doesn't really make you lose place. Now we're going to take our work, and it's going to fold right here. Can you see that? And then go ahead and place your hook into the first, there's 1 and 2, so into that first one, and draw up a loop and adjust your tension again. Make sure that it's going to be the right height for a regular single crochet, not a stretched out one, and then pull it through. Okay, so it looks just like the same size as if it was in your regular row. And then single crochet into the next stitch. Okay, let's go down. We're going to fold that work again. Place your finger on that loop, bring it down to that first of the 2. Okay, can you see how we're going to have a nice little curve here when we're done? Go ahead and do the next one, and then on to the last. So here's number 5 and number 6. Okay, make sure you get underneath 2 of those parts of that top of the chain. Okay, so here's, you can see how it's going to curve already compared to our other side, like so. Okay, and when we start putting our other rows on here, you're going to see the whole thing start to cup up the way we want it to. So let's chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to place 23 single crochets up to the last stitch right here, and then we're going to step down 2, 4, 6, and 8. When you get to the end, meet me there. I have another stitch. I'm going to show you the location to place it. So 23 single crochets, step 2, 4, 6, and 8. So at the end of this row, we want to place 1 more single crochet right here into that chain foundation here. This will help make it so it'll go all the way to the bottom as what we need for that pattern. Okay, so this is what we have. Can you see it's starting to cup already? Okay, so on this, take your hook out, leave a long tail, and cut your yarn and pull it through your loop. And you may want to refer back to the beginning of the video. Please make a second one of these, and I'll place it in the description box where this starts at. At the end of the second bottom of the bra cup, and we've placed that 1 single crochet into the foundation chain, continue on with a chain of 25. When you get to the end of the 25, finish it off and leave a 6-inch tail for weaving in later on. So as you can see here, I have two of them. I got them both going the same direction. One side has a wider edge and one side comes all the way down to the foundation chain end. The wider end is for the center front, so we want to take both of them and turn them to the same direction. All right, and what we're going to do here is we're going to start back here, and we're going to start with a chain, but first we're going to attach it right here in this foundation chain so that we can add a chain and come back. So let's go ahead and place a slip knot on our hook, and we're going to attach it right here at that first chain of our foundation chain. So here I'm going to attach this. I'm going to move my tail out of the way, and I'm going to join it with a slip stitch. Okay. Then we're going to chain 25. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue on until you get 25. After the 25, skip the first chain and single crochet into the 24 stitches. That'll take you up to where we first started, right here. Then I'll show you what to do next. Now if your chain stitch stretched out like mine did, let's go ahead and place a single crochet in there as well. Okay, now we're going to continue on with our single crochets. This will be over the top, okay, the top curve. You can know the difference. The ones with the single crochets and the lines under it, that's the foundation, or you can find your tail and that'll help you to see that that's the very first row. So we're going to go over the single crochets that we made from the previous row, and you can take your tails and carry them with you for maybe 5 or 10 stitches, and that'll help secure in these loose ends right here. So continue on with a single crochet, all the way to the end of this row. So when you get to the last stitch on the one side, line up the two sides, the two center fronts, the ones with the tails at the bottom, and we're going to just go straight into the first single crochet on the second bottom half of the bra cup. And then single crochet across all the stitches, all the way into your chain to the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. I folded this so you can get the full view of this in the camera. At the end of our row here, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to add 4 rows to what we already have. So we're going to go all the way across to the other end here, chain 1 and turn, and come on back. After you've completed those 4 rows, we'll move on to the next step. At the end of the 4th row that you've completed, leave yourself a tail. Go ahead and cut your yarn and pull it through. We'll weave this in. On the back side with over a few stitches. Moving on to the center, let's take our tails, join these together, and do over a whip stitch. Let me show you how that's done. So with my tapestry needle, I have one of my tails, and I'm going to put it into the eye of my needle. We're going to weave this one in as well, added support for the center. So we're going to go through some of the stitching, and then we're going to go down. Now when you pick up stitching, try to pick up 2 parts of the stitching. One will cause it to stretch. So now we're going to go up just a little bit. Then we're going to go down. And you'll notice how it all seems to work right in. It looks like it's part of the pattern. Okay, so let's go ahead and weave it in to the back side. We'll take this one and bring it up and weave it in as well. Sorry, I was out of camera range. So go ahead and finish that, and then your loose ends on your back strap pieces here, go ahead and weave those in as well. Now I want to point out that the bottom is going to have the scoop. The top is going to have the straight edge. Okay, so we're going to get ready to start the upper half of the bra cup. If you notice, yours should be cupping already, just like mine is. And I'm not encouraging it. It's the way when it was crocheted, it caused that end to curl up like it did. So let's get another slip knot on our hook, and we're going to be starting from the center and working across. I wanted to give you a preview of what we're going to do to build from the center here, and we're going to go across 30 stitches, and then we're going to decrease 1 per row till we end up with 1. Then we're going to make a chain of 90 so that we can tie it in the back of our neck. I hope you enjoyed that little preview on the mannequin, but I wanted to show you what we're going to do for the side. Since I did this one side, I'm going to show you how to start here, and of course once you finish this, it'll be the same for the other side. So let's place a slip knot on our hook, and I'll show you where to insert your hook to start with a standing single crochet. So right here where the two intersect and where we place our running or whip stitch here to join these two pieces together, go straight up, and here's our center one, and go over one, and this is where we're going to place our first standing single crochet. You'll also notice too that I have my cut ends. This will be the inside of my my bra here. So let's pull up a loop, and we can carry the tail with us into the stitch, yarn over, pull through both. that creates a standing single crochet. So we're going to go ahead and do a total of 30 single crochets, 1 per stitch, and you will stop right here. So when you see the end, you'll be going straight up and you'll be stopping right there. That should be 30 single crochets. Please pause your video. After 30 single crochets, chain 1, turn your work, and start in the very first single crochet right here, and you're going to do 29 across. When you get to the end of the row, you will have the 1 left over. Chain 1 and turn your work, and then you'll do 28 single crochets. Chain 1, turn, and then you'll do 27. You will decrease 1 at the end of each row until you end up with 1 single crochet, and then after that you will chain 90 for the neck strap. I will place all of it right here for you to read, and you can pause your video as well. Be sure to get up and stretch your legs because this will take a few minutes to do. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up here on the end, and we're going to come across until we get to the other end. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a few rows like we did here so that we have a wider band, and when we tighten it, this will help as in a regular bra. This will help with that extra band to pull up underneath the breasts so that it'll sit firmly, and then the bottom of the cups will hold you and support you properly. So let's place another slip knot on our hook and let's get started. So you remember our foundation chain right here? This is from the top. So what we want to do is we want to go along where we have the scoops. Okay, so here's our foundation chain. Let's pick up that 1. Okay, and draw up a loop. Carry your tail over so you can crochet it in as you go along. Tighten all your loops on your hook, yarn over, and here we have our first standing single crochet going in on this bottom half. So place 1 single crochet in each one of those foundation chain, what's left of the loops. Okay, so I'm going to set this down, and when you do is you come along the edge. You'll see this whole row right here is all foundation chain loop all the way to the end. When you get to the end, chain 1 and turn, come back, and we're going to do a total of 3 rows to help build support for the underside of this. So go ahead and do that. Be sure to stand up and get something to drink, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Here's my little card reader. It got dragged in. All right, see you in a few minutes. Please pause your video. At the end of the 3rd row, just go ahead and finish it off and then weave your end in. I like to point out how you can see how it's given it a more defined edge, and as you turn your bra eyelet around. You can see the cupping that helps for the support that's needed in the wearing of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a long chain stitch that'll be designed for you in the fitting. So what you need to do is place this around you and figure out how much gap you have between the two ends right here. And then take note that we have to go from one end to the other, from one end to the other, and then come out at the other end and tie it, and we're going to have to double that amount. I don't have a chain amount because everybody's going to be of a different width, so I'm going to make the one that will fit my mannequin, and then I will let you know what chain I have. I also plan on putting tassels on this, so I will show you how to put tassel on the ends for our neck and on the ends for our back. And if you choose to put one in the center just to have one hanging down, you can put one there also. Another thing I wanted to point out was that this can be used as a base for whatever design that you wanted to do to be creative. If this particular pattern becomes popular enough, I will go ahead and make a second video that'll show you how to add on whatever decorative design you might choose to have. So go ahead and measure your back, times it by 3, and add for the tying and however long you want it. Then take that amount and double it, and that'll give you about how long you'll need to make your chain for. So let's go ahead and do that, and then after that I'll show you the tassels. Now for these tassels, when using this cotton yarn, you really don't want it too long, but it is a personal preference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around my hand. I'm going to go 4 to 5, maybe 6 times. And where you started, you also you want to stop there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this here and cut this right here. I don't want my tassels to be too big, so I'm going to make it so that I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 6. Okay, then at the end of the chain I left a long tassel, a long tail. If you don't have a long tail, it's okay. It's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through, we're going to take this and fold it in half, and then take the chain and go back, or the tail, and go through the chain. Okay, and that'll get it started. And then we're going to bring that one end down. I'm going to turn my work here. And then I'm going to bring this down so I can create like a half hitch. So what I'm going to do is bring the tail through that open loop and bring it down just enough, and I'm going to go backwards and wrap it around a few times. Okay, and then after I do that, I'm going to take my needle and thread it. I'm going to tighten this back up. Okay, I'm at the top, so I'm going to drop it down through the bottom. And you see how I come up? And that'll help lock that in. Then I'm going to go back around the top. I'm going to go around twice. So here's 1 and 2. Then I'm going to go back down through that circle. And then cut the excess. Oops, making a lot of noise here. Cut the excess at the same length. And of course you want to take your ends and then cut them all to the same length. That's how I do my tassel. You're going to find it's very simple and it'll stay right there. So go ahead and do that and we're finished. I'll meet you in just a minute to show you what mine looks like. Now I wanted to show you real quick how I am planning on threading this. So we want to go over 1 stitch and up 1 row. Go ahead and pull your chain through till you get to the halfway mark. Of course, we're going to have to find that halfway mark. All right. Okay. This one that came up from the bottom, we're going to do the same with the other end. I'm going to go down, pick it up, pull it through. Oh, and by the way, I chained 300 and the distance from my end here to this end is 4 inches for my mannequin. And remember, my mannequin is approximately a size 8 to 10. So here we're gonna, in the middle, I'm gonna pull up, I'm gonna do like a crisscross here. So I'm going to take the one from the other side. Take my hook and go down. Pull it up. And then we're going to do it one more time for the very top. Now, when you do take this on and off, if you choose to loosen it, it's a good thing. Get somebody to help you, or you can twist it around. That would be good also. But make it so that it fits firmly, but not enough so that it will dig in and hurt. So this will have like a corset back. Okay, so it's just like threading your shoelaces in. Just like this. And then we would go ahead and place our tie on it. Okay, now I have tassels up here for my neck. I'm planning on putting tassels down here for the bottom as well. So here we have the finished look of this bralette. I hope it inspires you to make one of your own. It could be a bikini top or just like a crop top, but it will fit very nicely, especially for the underside of the cups to help support your breasts. So till next time, thank you for coming by, And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.